Hello guys, as you can see right now, there's snow around me.
No shit.
It's very cold, I think it's about 1 degree. We're in Hungary today, and today I'm doing something a little bit different than I usually do. Going to be comparing an $80 camera and an $800 camera. The $80 camera is one that's been sent to me by this company, Fluidform. They were kind enough to send me this camera to try out. This video is sponsored by Fluidform. Just want to be transparent with you guys on that fact. But I am going to give you my honest opinion about this camera. It's going to be a pretty interesting comparison because I'm going to be comparing it to this Sony NEX6. This is kind of similar to a Sony a6000, and this camera in its day was worth about $800. It's going to be interesting to compare an $80 camera to an $800 camera. At the end, I'm going to have a discount code for this camera for you guys if you want to buy it. But listen to what I say first, and then you can decide if it's the right camera for you. It is extremely affordable for what you get, I'll tell you that much so far. This Sony is what I've been filming my videos on up until I got back from Bangladesh to Europe. I absolutely love it and I always will. We'll jump into the comparison and I'll tell you what comparisons I'm going to be making between these cameras, because I've got a few different categories which I think will give you a good idea of the camera. Obviously this is a better camera because it's a Sony mirrorless, but it's just a little experiment to see how this comes out. Obviously completely different cameras, but why not?
Round 1, fight!
They're both just on auto setting. I'm not going to change the ISO or anything, just to keep it simple. This seems to have a lot better adaptation to the low light, but this camera has a much better depth of field. So I'm going to test these cameras in a few different categories. I'm going to go shoot a time lapse on each camera, and then I'm going to vlog from them so you can hear the audio and what it's like to vlog from them. Then I'm going to test the rolling shutter, which is when the camera is moving, see how well it keeps the picture. And then I'm going to play around with the focus, so going really close to things quickly and see how fast each camera focuses. Let's get into it. Okay, so that was the time-lapse comparison. And now I'm filming on the Sony NEX6 with the onboard audio, no external microphone. And this is what it's like vlogging on the NEX6. And now I'm going to switch over to this little guy. Alright guys, now I'm filming on the little Fluidform. It's so funny vlogging with a camera this size. It's so small and incognito. Obviously this lens is a lot wider, and this is the onboard audio of this camera, so you can see the audio there. Okay guys, so it's the following day. After I shot those clips yesterday at the river, it started snowing. But as you saw, I also just shot a stabilization comparison there. I think that this little guy has pretty good internal stabilization compared to this one. This one's only got stabilization in the lens, not in the camera body itself. When it gets down to it, obviously it was always going to be the answer, this camera is better, but this camera is a pretty tough contender, especially if you look at the price bracket. Also, another thing with this camera that I didn't mention is you can actually increase the width of what you're filming, so you can film in super wide or just standard if you want. The best thing to take away from an experiment like this, I could film a video on the camera that I'm filming right now, which is a very good camera, and it could be really high quality, and you know, it could be an okay video. Or I could film a video on this that has a much better storyline, offers the viewer a lot more, and the video on this camera is going to be a much better video. I guess what I'm trying to say is, obviously the best thing that you can possibly have is a good camera and a good story. But a good story on a lower quality camera is better than a bad story on a high quality camera. So if you're just looking into like making films, then I would go for this guy. It also comes with a waterproof body that I haven't been using, and you can mount all the kind of mounts that you can mount to a GoPro. And it's actually quite funny because my GoPro broke recently and I can't get it to work. So I'm actually going to be using this in future videos, say if I go underwater or anything in my vlogs. So I'm actually going to be keeping this to use for my own personal use. Interesting little experiment. You can see the quality isn't that much different, especially when you consider the price. I'm going to leave a discount code for you guys. It's going to be 15% off this camera, and there's going to be two links. There's going to be a US link and a Europe link, but you can order from these sites to most places in the world, but just double check in the links where they will ship. If you use this discount code, then you will get 15% off this camera, so that'll cut down the price a bit for you guys if you're interested in buying it. Thanks for watching, guys. As you can see, it's a beautiful day out. I'm only wearing 2 jackets today instead of 4. That's always a good sign. Stay tuned for the next video, which will be a Q&A. Thanks for watching, guys.